Good morning, America. I'm Vanessa Broussard. We do have some breaking details in the deeply troubling case of Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC News anchor Savannah Guthrie. Today at 5 p.m. Mountain Time is the deadline given to the Guthrie family in a ransom note. The family says they'll pay.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
With us here today to break down everything going on in this case is Sheriff Richard Mack with the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. Sheriff, this is a bizarre case. It has been from the beginning. From a law enforcement perspective, what stands out the most to you about this case so far?
Well, obviously, it doesn't look like the kidnappers are that interested in making a deal. They could have made this very easy for Savannah and her brother and sister to make arrangements, but they never really have much communication with them. And at the same time that it's easy to communicate with them, it's also easy to follow communications with the kidnappers. And so it really is a catch-22 for them, but there's also ways, because of technology, to get around that. So you would think if they were really interested in the ransom, that they would make it obvious for Savannah and her brother and sister to take care of it and make a deal and them get their money. They really don't seem to be that interested. And that kind of leads it to somebody knows each other. And that, first of all, in most kidnappings, and I've handled several of them in my career, and I even had one, a very similar incident where a man walked away from home after he fell. And it kind of started looking at the same way to me because he fell and he was bleeding and that made him disoriented and he just walked away from home. And they thought, at the beginning, we all thought that there was a kidnapper because he was bleeding. But there wasn't. He just walked away from home. And we found him out in the middle of the desert, and he was deceased. That's the thing about getting lost in Tucson, getting lost in the hills in Tucson. It's very unforgiving area. I was sheriff just an hour and a half away from Tucson, just an hour away from the border. And so we were very familiar with the crimes associated with the border and the problem with the border, and dealing with the cartels and dealing with ICE. And during the Clinton administration, ICE would never do anything for us and help us. If we got a load vehicle, they never responded. And so you could think, is this linked to border issues? I doubt it, because even then they would want a ransom. And it just really doesn't seem like the kidnappers are too interested in that. The other thing that really hit me hard is that we were very, resourceful when it came to our search and rescue squad, and we always had dogs. And I heard on the news finally that they did have some canine units around there. What I want to know, from an investigative standpoint, with the sheriff's office in Pima County, is when did the dog stop following the trail for Mrs. Guthrie? They would have picked up on her blood scent and on her scent. Where did it stop? And did the tire tracks that were obviously, if they parked near her home, they should have left some tire tracks, and that would be physical evidence that could really help in looking at vehicles that pulled in right after that situation, right after the kidnapping, time frame wise. they could find the tires off the car and match it up to a car at any of the video footage that they could maybe get off of Circle K's or 7-Elevens. So I want to know, at what point did the dogs stop and go, she's not here anymore? Okay, where was that? Did it stop at tire tracks? And you see, that's what the sheriff's office really kind of blew, because they allowed the media to get way too close to the home and the crime scene.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I've been thinking the same thing, Sheriff. I'm not an investigator, but that is a very good point that you made about the tire tracks. But I did think that over the last many days, and when this all began, they allowed the media too close to that home, that they could contaminate any evidence that may have been on the road, in the street. This is a narrow road. It's a lot of gravel. We're right there in the middle of the desert. And so what if this kidnapper or whoever may have taken Miss Guthrie away? You have cars up and down the road all day long that could have contaminated any type of evidence. They, in my opinion, should have been kept far away from the crime scene.
Now, see, on this particular road, they probably wouldn't get much off of that. But anything around the home, anything with, and it looked like a dirt driveway, and I didn't see a real good picture of it, but it looked like a dirt driveway. And it looked like right just then, when we saw the picture of the highway, as soon as you got off the road, that blacktop road, or the gravel road, whichever it was, it's dirt. And that would leave a great print. And that's what Arizona desert are famous for. You can get a good print off a tire track. And that could be, right now, the only physical evidence they have in this thing, except for her blood, obviously. But after you know that's hers, then that evidence pretty much gone. It just proves that it was hers. So,
and they have confirmed that it is hers, yes. And so there you're looking at the stains right now that they have found at her front door on the porch of her home. But we're now over a week since Nancy has been missing from her Arizona home. She's in her mid-80s. She doesn't have her medications, really no signs of life from what we know. Now, we haven't been told what's exactly in the two ransom notes that have been received. But, like you mentioned, they haven't really given any contact information or where to send this money. So that's making it hard for the family. And you just heard Savannah saying, we will pay. But how do we pay? So you're right. Do they really want money? Or is this just a ploy to push everybody away and focus over here on the ransom note, when maybe they're, removing the body and letting it decay somewhere? I don't know. But this is a very different case. But let's start in the early hours. Once officers arrived for a welfare check, her home security cameras disabled. We mentioned the blood on the front door steps. An immediate sign that this was a well thought out kidnapping. As soon as we saw early on, Sheriff, that those cameras were dismantled, this goes to show you that somebody planned this out. Someone knew her home well. Someone may have known her, been in her inner circle, and known the house, even her. She may have let them inside her home. So early on, we had some key signs there in this investigation.
Yeah, and all of that's very key, but and again, it points away from the kidnappers, that they were total strangers, because it really would be unheard of. Well, not unheard of, but it would really be unusual. First of all, it's unusual kidnapping an elderly person, very rare, and so you have to wonder about that. Most kidnappers know the victim. Okay, so just statistically speaking. And then this one even leads to that even more. So experts along the border who deal with cartels say, no, this really doesn't look like cartels. The other evidence they should be pursuing, in which they mentioned here and there, but not very much, and that is, has Savannah Guthrie received threats? in her position as an anchor at NBC. Has she said anything about one particular politician that really would have got some of their fans or followers ticked off? You know, did she offend anybody recently? Did she offend a group recently? That's really about the only lead they have left. And obviously, they're still saying that there is no one that is exempt from being a suspect at this point. So even the kids and family members, and they should be looking at friends and inner circles and all of that, obviously, and I'm sure they have been. But if anybody just isn't around now, you know, where did somebody go? Did somebody take a long trip and the family doesn't know where they are? That person would be a prime suspect because they're with Mrs. Guthrie, or the possibility of that happening. They have so little to go on that I would really be pursuing a Savannah connection. And I think she's a good person. I think they all are. But at the same time, you can't exempt anybody, and just solid law enforcement won't allow you to do that in this type of an investigation where you have nothing to go on. So
You know, you say
it's
that,
really
and
sad.
it really is. You say that. Over the weekend, investigators were at Savannah's sister's home, Annie. Reporters on the ground there are saying that investigators were inside her home for several hours. We do know that she lived nearby, I believe, within a couple of miles or so. That's stretching it. I believe it may be just within a mile, but she
About
lives
four and
close
a half
by.
miles.
Yes. And so, you know, they were at her home over the weekend. A lot of speculation that, you know, maybe they're a suspect, but I just want to make it very clear that this is all speculation. The sheriff's office has said they have no persons of interest. They have no suspect, but I think they're just covering their tracks. And there's the latest statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Department saying, you know, clearing the air for all of the rumors out there. We have no persons of interest right now in this case, even though we were at Annie's house over the weekend. We're just doing our job and covering all of our bases here.
Well, one other thing, just real briefly, I don't get Sheriff Nanos, and I'll admit I've never talked to Sheriff Nanos, but during his campaign this past year, he was bad mouthing me and bad mouthing the constitutional sheriff movement, and so I've always wanted to talk to him. Say, "Well, since when do you know anything about me? We've never talked or never met." But at the same time, I really challenge something he said that doesn't make much sense to me, and that is this. Mrs. Guthrie, or he said Nancy Guthrie, whichever one he called her, I can't remember, it doesn't matter, is still out there. What does that mean? Of course she is. You know, what I have no idea what that even is supposed to mean. Is that supposed to make everybody feel comfortable, or that he wants everybody to still be working the case, or he obviously needs the help from the public. So is that a call to the public yet still out there? Well, obviously she hasn't been found yet. So yes, she's still out there, but where out there, you know? And is she lying in some hotel room by herself? You know, none of that makes any sense. And I think that's kind of a trite statement to make. Of course, I think everybody knows that she's still out there. The question, Sheriff, is where? And the question is, were there mistakes made? And I don't think, you know, I don't think they're abnormal, and it was really it was really incompetence of the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I've assailed them before in the past when they shot a former Marine about 15 years ago or so. But this, I think it would have been normal, especially like you were alluding to earlier, having the officers go there for a welfare check. That's normal. But after that, especially after you saw blood, the media should have been held back, and they should have really protected the crime scene, which doesn't appear that was too, well, it wasn't happening.
Well, they're still not, Sheriff. I mean, you know, this weekend they were at Annie Guthrie's or Annie's home is Savannah Guthrie's sister, and the media is right there. A lot of independent journalists seeing the driveway where the sheriff's office officers are parked, and also they're so close that it was nighttime. They can see flashes going off from cameras inside the home, so they're letting the media right up close to these crime scenes and these properties where they're investigating, which I've been in media for several decades, and I've never been allowed that close to a crime scene. So this one is new for me. But also, we got an aerial footage photo yesterday circulating online. They were actually on the property. It looks like some type of manhole cover, some type of sewage, septic tank, something there. What do you think they're looking for here, and why now?
Well, they might be looking for a body. We've had those happen out in the desert before, and so missing persons, and you always have to consider that there's foul play involved. So they're just making sure that they're crossing all the T's and dotting the I's and making sure that that they're covering all the bases, and that's what they're doing there.
Yeah. So, they are going to different places that we've seen. We've showed that location with what looks like a manhole. We've shown or talked about Annie's home over the weekend. Another new development, Sheriff, that didn't come until days later. They were on top of the roof of Mrs. Guthrie's home. Some reports saying that there might have been another camera up there. Some reports saying that she recently had her roof redone. So this tells
They should have
me
been checking for footprints up there too. They should have been checking for footprints up there. And
they
you've
may
got
have
to
been.
and you've got to shine a flashlight there to look at the correct angle, and maybe use a black light to check everything that might show up. I hope that they did that, because a footprint or a tire print would be vital at this point.
Well, Savannah Guthrie in the past has been very critical of President Trump. She's interviewed him before. They've had a war of words during interviews, and it's no secret where she lies in her political views. But in a situation like this, you put all politics aside, because this is a very heartbreaking nightmare that this woman and her family are living through, as well as Miss Guthrie, if she's still alive. President Trump called her immediately. He called Savannah immediately, offered any type of federal help. He sent the FBI there immediately, going to show, let's work on this together, which I think from both sides is amazing. And again, putting all politics aside, this is just, you don't want anyone, I don't care who you are, to have to live through this nightmare. When the feds, the FBI get on the ground, what kind of sources and resources, I should say, what kind of resources do they have that your local police department doesn't have that they can investigate and hopefully get some answers on?
The only thing I would say there would be the crime lab, and they have scientists, investigators, and forensic investigators that might take everything to the next level and might have a little more access to some of the current technologies. But I even heard some reports, though, that Pima County is a small area. That's absolutely false. This is a huge area. Tucson's the second largest city in Arizona, and Pima County is the second largest sheriff's office in Arizona. It's kind of a large area, and it certainly has wide open spaces, lots of desert, and actually quite a few mountains. And so the terrain goes from desert to mountains real quick. And so, but I didn't get that this is a small area. Sheriff Nanos has an access to a lot of stuff, but the FBI does specialize in a lot of technologies, and you have to be able to use every bit of technology that you possibly can in something like this. But when you have absolutely nothing to compare anything to, like people say, like a fingerprint, you can solve the case because you have a fingerprint. Well, if you have no other fingerprint to compare it to, then you don't. Okay, so it's sometimes technology is overplayed because people watch television. and movies too much about cop movies, and so it's just hoping beyond hope, especially at this time, that you can get a spark of technology that will allow some sort of lead. It doesn't look like that's happening, and I would still say this. I want to harp on this quite a bit this morning. That is, if they really want a ransom, then, and it's supposed to be today, is that what they get the money or they kill her, then why are they not making arrangements for that to happen? And so this might just be another opportunistic criminal trying to get the money and not being able to find a way to do it. If they were really serious about that, there would be some communication. They've already been told by the siblings that we are willing to pay. So there's your $6 million right there. And it just doesn't seem like they're really that interested. And that's why I think it's bogus.
Yeah, and it could be. And, we haven't seen, again, the ransom notes. I know there's a lot in this investigation that they're not putting out publicly. But I was watching a report, Sheriff, the other night where a former investigator was talking about how, in the first ransom note, they may have, I believe it was reported that the kidnapper knew some details about the inside of Nancy Guthrie's home, which is how they knew that this wasn't a legit ransom note. But this former investigator said that's not good enough. And what she started describing was, tell me something that only I would know. What's my favorite holiday tradition? What was the name of my childhood doll that we took on every family vacation? Something that Miss Guthrie would only know and Savannah may only know, or one of her siblings would only know. And so I think that investigator was spot on, that's how you would know that Mrs. Guthrie is still alive. Ask her something that we only know. And maybe they have, and they just haven't reported it because the sheriff's office has not had a press briefing in the last couple of days and says that they will when something new and big develops. So again, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know, as you know. But let's go. We have a couple of minutes left, Sheriff. Let's go behind the scenes for a second, because a lot of people are wondering, we see the media, we see what we know, what we see on the news, the new footage that we get from the scene, and everyone starts speculating. What's going on behind the scenes? You have Savannah Guthrie, who is famous. She's on national news every single morning. Yeah. Where is she located? Are they in constant contact with her? Is there extra security for her and her family? What's going on in a situation like this with someone of her status?
Well, she already has pretty good security, and I kind of wondered why her mom didn't have a little bit better. But, again, that's just speculation, and it's kind of hindsight, which is always 2020. But I think she's key in this, though, because she is so famous. And look, she's one of the most famous people from Arizona, and especially the Tucson area. That's where she grew up and went to high school. So behind the scenes now, though, I want to know one other thing, and your point is very well taken. How was the note passed to TMZ? Was it emailed? Was it a letter mailed? How was it delivered? And then what kind of, was it done with a pencil? Was it done with, the old style where they taped out newspaper clippings or magazine clippings? How was it done? How was it written? Was it in handwriting? Was it pencil? Was it pen? Was it typewritten from a computer? What kind of computer then? What was it? And I've never heard anything about that. And
I believe, Sheriff, the reports say that the ransom notes were emailed. The first one to TMZ and some local affiliates, and then the second one to local affiliates through email.
And then and so it had to show some sort of address or some sort of mechanism for putting that out there. But but obviously that looks like it went to a dead end as well. And so, and I understand Sheriff Nanos and the other investigators involved wanting to get the media involved because they have no other leads, and they're hoping that the public will come forward. And nobody is really that has anything of significance now. And so the play with the would-be kidnappers who are saying the deadline's today, then where are they? And obviously, is it that Mrs. Guthrie is already passed? And whoever hurt her at the beginning, was that enough of an injury to cause her death? And now it's just game playing. And maybe the kidnappers would say, we're sorry, but she's already passed. How much will you give for her body? And I hate to sound like that, but that's part of this case right now. And if you're going to cover everything, that has to be something else we're looking at.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens as the hours go by today. Again, this afternoon is the deadline that they gave, and we'll wait to see what the sheriff's office. Yes, it is. Sheriff Richard Mack with the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. Thank you so much for being here and for your take this morning.
That's all right. I really feel for the family. Our prayers have gone out to her, to Savannah and her family, and we really pray that this has a happy ending.
Absolutely. Nonstop. Sheriff, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we have more news headlines for your Monday coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELLTV, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance.
The lyric of the night at the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show, Kid Rock telling people to pick up their Bibles. TPUSA moving beyond school campuses and into mainstream culture. Last night's halftime show drew in over 10 million consecutive viewers, and at last count, 25 million viewers across all social media platforms. That's huge, 25 million, and that number is still growing. It was a tribute to Charlie Kirk, honoring God, our country, and just good, clean music. Before it kicked off, a message from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth.
In the War Department, we salute Turning Point USA and every American who still believes freedom is worth defending. Thank you for your courage as an organization, your clarity, and your leadership, and for this halftime show that the War Department is proud to support. This year, we mark 250 years since a band of citizens pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. For 2.5 centuries, Americans have answered that call on farms and factory floors, in shipyards and labs, in cockpits and foxholes, and in every uniform our nation has worn. Freedom is not automatic. It is defended by a strong nation and a ready force, and that's our job. To our troops, our veterans, and the families who serve alongside them, we see you, we thank you, and we've got your back. So I hope you're enjoying this game. Happy Freedom 250, the things that really matter. God bless our warriors, and God bless our great republic.
Absolutely. And President Trump, he said this about the NFL halftime show featuring that guy known as Bad Bunny. People still don't really know what he sings, what his music is, what songs he sings. But anyways, the president said this, very lengthy post last night. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense in an effort to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. And the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show. And watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what's going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule, Make America Great Again. He's been adamant about that new kickoff rule. He doesn't like it. But if you missed it, I did. I didn't watch. I was watching Turning Point show, but I'm told that Bad Bunny sang in all Spanish, no English whatsoever. But interestingly enough, this commercial played immediately after Bad Bunny, I'm told, during the commercial break. Interesting time.
They're friends and neighbors, sons, fathers. They're little league coaches and veterans. They're people who love this country. These are Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. They are removing violent criminals from our streets and neighborhoods. It's dangerous and difficult work. But ICE has one mission: to make America a safer place to live, and that's what they're doing. This is law enforcement. This is ICE.
A pro-ICE commercial. Love to see it. Pro-ICE and TPUSA. I would say yesterday was a good day. Saturday was a good day, too. There was a big event at Mar-a-Lago, and our next guests were there. Ken Markovich and Ray Simon. Good to see you both. Thanks so much for being here with us. Look at those paintings behind you. Ray, we had you on a few weeks ago to discuss your patriotic paintings, and now you have a brand new one, and we see it right behind you. Mike Lindell, you're doing great work. First, let's talk about Mar-a-Lago. How was it this weekend?
The event was outstanding. Tally Washburn put together an amazing event, from the host to the outside by the pool, in the dining room, in the menu. It was absolutely top shelf.
Yeah, I saw some of your pictures from that night. And so the pictures of you at Mar-a-Lago showing off this painting to Mike Lindell for the first time. Let's talk about the feedback that you got from your painting, Ray, and also the message behind the painting. I know there's some different scenes in this painting. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the message behind the painting really it concurs with Mike's ongoing message from years ago, and and just the kind of person that Mike Lindell is, and why the state of Minnesota needs somebody like Mike Lindell. Because the painting talks about adversity. And God knows, if anybody knows adversity, Vanessa, Mike Lindell knows adversity. You know, there's an old saying that, you know, adversity introduces one to themselves. Well, Mike Lindell knows who he is because he's been up against a lot of adversity. In that painting represents a lot of symbolic values that Mike embraces. One of them is his boldness and quiet confidence echoes through the enduring American values that defined Minnesota since she entered the Union in 1858. To the right, a majestic lion stands watch over God's children. You remember the saying, Vanessa, God blesses those who bless God's children. In all Mike's efforts from just a span of time is making America better again, making America great again, evoking Jacob's blessings of Judah and the conquering Christ, the lion's whelp, symbol of the rightful authority, courage, and divine victory. What really captured people, I think, at the dinner was the lone eagle soaring over the city of Minneapolis. Many times, how many times have, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love that. I love the lion. I love the eagle. I love the skyline of Minneapolis. But go ahead. Tell us about the eagle over Minneapolis and Minnesota.
Many times Mike Lindell stood up against to right what is wrong. Many times, Vanessa, and the people need to be aware of this in the state of Minnesota. Many times he stood up for the American people, and many times he stood alone. And I said at his fundraiser, malevolent forces will have their moments in time, as surely as evil will inherently topple itself. God's immutable governing power always rights what's wrong in the end. Mike Lindell holds that vision as sacred. And if you look coming through the skyline of Minnesota, of Minneapolis, you see the subtle radiant of the crucifix emerges as a beam of light, dispelling acts of destruction, insurrection, and the pilfering of what belongs to the righteous citizens of the people in Minnesota. And that's right here. You can see the subtle cross. So if anybody needs to take that state out of the state that it's in right now, it's Mike Lindell.
Yeah, and I'm looking at other paintings behind you as well. All of these can be found on your website. Staying on the topic of Mike's painting that you just unveiled this weekend, that's on your website right now. How can people, get this information on this, and even some of the other paintings you have there? I know you have paintings of President Trump, Charlie Kirk we've showed before. There's the link to Mike Lindell. So tell us your website and how people can get their hands on this beautiful painting.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vanessa. So we've structured a special promo code for Mike Lindell. It's called Mike. So we're providing 25% discount on all of artist Ray Simon's paintings. And that's at raysimon.art. So raysimon.art, promotion code Mike.
And just so the listeners know, Vanessa, each one of those paintings, including Mike's, comes with a certificate that doesn't talk about the artist. It talks about the symbolism of the painting. Not only Mike Lindell's painting, Abraham Lincoln's painting, George Washington's painting, President Trump's painting. And, the event that we had at Mar-a-Lago was really tremendous. And Mike got up there and just told people, like he always does, where he stands. And and if you noticed, he went from number 3 to number 1 on the Republican poll. So it's onward and upward with Mike Lindell.
Right, and this is a perfect time for you to create a painting of Mike Lindell. Hey, spot on. I mean, the smile, the beard, the cross lapel that he wears on his suit every single day. I mean, you just do wonderful work. What's next for you? Ken, I know you are the biggest cheerleader for Ray, and you're behind the scenes helping him in this endeavor. So what's next for you? We already have some great, there's photos of Mike with you all at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. Love to see the smiles. There's the painting. I mean, what a great time you all had. You can see it in your faces. But let's talk about the future. What's next for you? Anything coming down the pipes?
Well, I actually have a meeting with Mike this afternoon to look at considering Ray's images on some of his products. But, this adventure started September 10th upon the assassination of Charlie Kirk. When I decided to retire, I met Ray October 16th when he unveiled the Charlie Kirk painting at a Turning Point event. We went to AmeriFest. We met you. You put Ray on TV on your platform. Several weeks later, you connected me with Lauren Witzke. We spoke with Mike. We've got a person, JJ Cafaro, to underwrite the commission. We spent time with Mike refining the painting. We are in Mar-a-Lago. It's just it's kind of a dream, but we're really excited to work with Mike Lindell and to continue to visually, represent his integrity and his vision. So hopefully there'll be some more Ray Simon involved with Mike Lindell's ventures.
Yes, we hope so. We love working with you, and so glad we met at Turning Point USA. Charlie brought us together. Let's I'll give it up for Charlie because that's yes, I noticed your shirt. I love it. So Charlie Kirk brought us together at Turning Point, and here we are. And you are all at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. Thanks for all you do for supporting Mike Lindell and what you'll continue to do as we try to fight to save this country every single day. Ray, one more time, tell us your website. I know there's a promo code just for Mike. It's easy to remember. It's his name. We want everyone to go online, support you, support Mike and everyone else. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of your paintings. They're all so beautiful, and you can find them all on your website. So again, tell us about it. We're looking at Mike, next to him Charlie Kirk, next to him Donald Trump, the president. So a lot of great artwork there.
Thank you. So it's raysimon.art. And again, Valerie, similar to Mike's painting, all the stories that are embedded into the paintings. And because and all it says about the artist is that I was privileged. If you love America, you'll like my work. And that's what it boils down to. I fell in love with God in America at a very early age, and I haven't stopped painting about God in America. And if you notice, even including Mike's painting, you see God embedded into the canvas with the Lincoln painting, the George Washington painting, the President Trump painting. God is embedded into the canvas. So I guess if you don't like America, you're not going to like my work. But if you go to raysimon.art, and Mike's promo code is Mike. And I pray that, God always wins in the end. And I really feel confident that Mike Lindell is going to be the next governor of the great state of Minnesota. And really, I mean, I think it's the state of Minnesota is the tip of the spear. It's the tip of the spear of what's happening throughout this country, the malevolent, evil, dark side of which is destroying America from the fabric of this country. And at the end of the day, you want to see an end game, and the end game's not good. I think, the world is a vampire. There was a song written, "The World is a Vampire." And I think right now, President Trump and people like Mike Lindell, and there's going to be more people standing up to right what is wrong.
You're right. And, we saw a lot of that again last night, the millions of people who turned away from the woke and turned to God and country. And that was what Turning Point USA's halftime show. And so people are waking up, and, the silent majority isn't silent anymore. And it's people like you too, Ken, who, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you left your job and you said, I need to do something to better this country and get to work. And you have been doing a fabulous job in the last couple of months. And I know there's great plans ahead for you, and God is guiding you on the right track. Same with you, Ray. Love your work. Can't wait to see what you do next. And we'll be in contact. Love having you on the show and watching all of your successes. Everyone go to his website, raysimon.art. Use the promo code Mike. hang this up in your office, hang this up in, your home, anywhere, just to remind people that we love our country and we love the fighters for this country. Ken and Ray, good to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by this morning.
God
Thank
bless
you so
Vanessa.
much. I appreciate
Thank you.
you so much, Vanessa. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Well, more news when we come back. GHISLAINE Maxwell testifies before Congress today. That's next in our News to Go segment. But first, another patriotic moment from last night's Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show. We'll leave you with this as we go to break.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Lichtenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
Maha moms, it's the day we've all been waiting for. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced that mercury is being removed from childhood vaccines. Many people saying that's what's causing the high rate of autism in kids. They're saying there's a new kind of mercury in these vaccines over the last couple of years, and maybe that's what's causing autism. Here's more from Kennedy.
That no human being should suffer from exposure to mercury. You came together to protect future generations from this potent neurotoxin, and I'm looking forward to continued progress. Article 4 of the convention calls on parties to cut mercury use by phasing out listed mercury-added products. But in 2010, as the treaty took shape, negotiators made a major exception. Thimerosal-containing vaccines were carved out of the regulation. The same treaty that began to phase out mercury in lamps and cosmetics chose to leave it in products injected into babies, pregnant women, and the most vulnerable among us. We have to ask why. Why do we hold a double standard for mercury? Why do we call it dangerous in batteries, in over-the-counter medications and makeup, but acceptable in vaccines and dental fillings? Thimerosal is a mercury-based preservative that has never undergone proper safety testing in humans. Hundreds of peer-reviewed studies identify it as a potent neurotoxin, a mutagen, a carcinogen, and an endocrine disruptor. Thimerosal's own label requires it to be treated as hazardous material and warns against ingestion. There is not a single study that proves it's safe. That's why in July of this year, the United States closed the final chapter on the use of thimerosal as a vaccine preservative, something that should have happened
years ago. I literally smiled so big when this news broke. We have been fighting against the vaccines for so long. And you heard Kennedy. This stuff is not allowed in so many products, but it's allowed into our babies' bloodstreams. Our babies are now being protected from shots that they don't need. And if you feel like mercury played a part in maybe your child's delay, get a blood test and see what it says. Now, your child's pediatrician may question it. They probably will, but it's not up to them. Remember, you're the parent. And if they do question why you want a blood test, find a new pediatrician. Get a blood test for your child and see what their mercury levels show. I've seen reports where parents have done that and the mercury levels are sky high and they've had their babies detoxed and their babies can now talk. They're no longer delayed. Mercury will no longer be allowed in vaccines for our children. Great news to report to you today. All right, let's take a look at opening bell on Wall Street. The Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ. The Dow down a bit at opening bell. The S&P 500 down as well. The NASDAQ up a little bit. Now, we had a big rally on Friday with a massive record high. Numbers right now, though, are fluctuating, so we'll see how it plays out throughout the day. Looking at your news to go as you start your day. Today, GHISLAINE Maxwell is set to testify before the House Oversight Committee. Be expecting lots of news on this. She is expected for deposition, but her attorneys say she will plead the Fifth. We are keeping a very close eye on this morning, so be tuned in to LINDELLTV for more from GHISLAINE Maxwell's testimonies. Also, Minnesota Governor Tampon Timmy Walz is expected in D.C. this week for a deposition. It's going to be a good one. Questions about the fraud in his state. He'll have to answer to Congress. That's coming up this week as well. Also this week, a vote is expected on the SAVE Act. President Trump wanting to secure our elections right now, not later.
Well, you know, we're working on the Save America Act, which is going to secure up a lot of things, but secure up our voting. I think people would like to do it, and I think Democrats would too. You know, when you go to voter ID and you ask Democrats, it's polling at 82% with Democrats. I'm not talking about Democrat politicians. I'm talking about Democrats. We have to do something about our voting. We need strong borders. We need a fair press, which we don't have. And very importantly, we need the strong border, the fair press, and we need fair elections. We need elections where people aren't able to cheat. And we're going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get it done. And by the way, it polls, even with Democrats, they want that.
All right. We have our DC crew on the ground as we do every single day, so expect a lot of coverage from them. You've seen Allison Steinberg in the halls of Congress every single day, trying to get answers, pushing for answers from our Congressmen members to get that SAVE Act passed. We have to secure our elections. A vote is expected this week. So that's your news to go as you start your day. For coverage on all of this and so much more, all of your news headlines can be found on LINDELLTV.com. Don't forget, you can also download the Lindell TV app. I get people asking me all the time if there's an app. Yes, there is. Go download the Lindell TV app. It's very user-friendly, and you can watch all of the shows, including My Mornings with Vanessa, right here every Monday through Friday. And as we always do, we leave you today in prayer. Our Bible verse of the day comes from the book of Proverbs. It's a long one, but it's a good one. The Bible says this: "With his mouth, the godless man destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge, the righteous will be delivered. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices. And when the wicked perish, there is joyful shouting. By the bless of the upright, a city is exalted, but by the mouth of the wicked, it is torn down." And that'll do it for us here this morning. For breaking news 24/7, make sure you're also following me on social media. I'm on almost all of the platforms. You can find me there. And we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day, America.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELL10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10. For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off liver health formula and lymph system support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you